Welcome back to Conversations with Marjan and Desiree.
Hi, and welcome back.
Today, we are actually showing more in detail one of the strategies that we use in our online workshop series, Embracing Life. And that tool is The Work by Byron Katie. Some movies beforehand, we already worked on one of my issues. Today, we have a very brand new situation that has arisen in Marjan's life. And even though she is a highly trained facilitator in doing the work, it does not mean that you don't have to do it yourself when something in your life changes, when you start to have stressful thoughts. And the situation is never stressful. It is the whole picture that we build around it. So it's really incredibly important to then fill out a worksheet, and we can maybe attach it after the video, but that you can see all the thoughts that are causing the stress, and then you need to investigate them. And today we're going to do this on the new situation in Marjan's life. So Marjan, do you want to tell us a little bit about your new situation?
Yes. About a year ago, I was diagnosed with adult onset diabetes. So it's diabetes type 1, but they only find out when you're older. And at the time, you know, I was not so worried about it. Just, okay, just one more thing going on, but I felt okay. There was nothing going on. And now, a couple of weeks ago, I went to the hospital to get a test, like a baseline test, to find out what the reserves still are in the pancreas that makes the insulin. And all of a sudden it dawned on me that, you know, this is really serious. It's really something that could ruin my life, basically. So that, you know, all these thoughts came up in my mind, and all these images of me being blind or cripple or whatever. So I thought, okay, I have to write this down on a worksheet because it was creating stress in my life. So the work, as Desiree said, the first part is really to identify all these thoughts that give you stress. And then the second part is then to investigate in those thoughts. And that's what we're going to do today. So the worksheet that I wrote started with that. You know, I'm really fearful because it will make me blind or cripple. And especially the second one, I want my diabetes to stop ruining my life. That's the one that really got me by the throat. So Desiree is going to facilitate me today to give you an idea of how it goes. And
I'll take over from here.
Yeah. No.
All right. So for everybody to understand, the work contains of 4 questions and they always focus only on one of those thoughts. So in the worksheet, you have several thoughts, but you always pick one, and then you go through the whole process with each individual thought. Don't mix them up. Stick with one and resolve each one at a time. So we work with the thought, I want my diabetes to stop ruining my life today. And the very first question is it true?
Yes.
Okay, so it's very important to always aim for the yes or no answer. Sometimes stories come up, especially when you're new to the work, you have all these explanations. Always bring it down to a clear yes or no, as long as it takes to get to that point and sit with it for a while. Yep. Now, just to make sure you have taken enough time to think about it, let's deepen that thought a little more. I want my diabetes to stop ruining my life. Can you absolutely know that this is true, Marjan?
No.
Okay. So sometimes when you sit longer with it, the thoughts have a chance to move from your head down to your heart, or the heart can speak up a bit louder to overrule the logical mind. So that's why we sit a little longer with the second question. So let's move on to question number 3. How do you react, or what happens in your life, in your daily life, when you believe the thought, I want my diabetes to stop ruining my life?
When I believe that thought, I get very frustrated with this diabetes, with my body. So I I sort of separate from it. I attack it. I'm not very kind to it. I don't want it to be there. So I'm totally switching off from it. And as I said before, so when I believe this thought, my mind automatically goes to the future. I see all kinds of images of, not being able to do things anymore. I love reading, but diabetes is going to that's what I think. It's going to make me blind. It's going to make me cripple. It's going to make me immobile. So I see a future where I am immobile. I have to stay at home. I can't read. I can't walk. So it's really terrifying to me. And then, so that's where it goes. And then it goes to the past. And there I feel a lot of shame because I think, oh my goodness, there were so many bad things that I ate. So was it my fault? So I start to blame myself. It's like, putting this whip over my own back. And also in my mind, I treat it like it's this wild thing that I cannot, that there's no way to get a handle on. It's like a wild horse that goes anywhere. So all of that gives me the feeling of being a victim. I'm a victim to this. I can't control it. Very much a doomsday scenario. Like, combined with blaming myself. Of I should have taken this more serious sooner. I've wasted all these years. So yeah, not very nice place to be in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's these vivid images that create all these emotions in our minds that we create, as you said, from the future and the past. Yeah. All right. So where do you feel it in your body? How does it show up when you are in that headspace of all of those thoughts?
I feel the tension in my stomach and also my neck and my shoulders, very tense, like cringing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. I often use the body as a first indicator that I need to look at my thoughts because we can feel the body sooner than before we recognize our thinking. So sometimes if you don't know you have a problem, but physically you feel it, then there is somewhere hidden somewhere in your thoughts one. So let's take it a step further. That's question number 4, and that's sometimes a bit tricky. It takes a little practice, but the idea of question number 4 is to try to please leave that thought, that belief that you have, I want my diabetes to stop ruining my life, to put it down, to leave it outside the door for a moment and try to step back into that moment when that situation happened where this thought was really stressful for you, and try to enter that same space again without the thought, without that belief, I want my diabetes to stop ruining my life. So can you get back into that situation and leave this thought out of it?
Okay, so the situation was I was driving back from the hospital after the test to my home. And as I said, then all the things. So if so the same situation, I'm in the car, I've just had the test. And in that moment, without the thought, I want my diabetes to stop ruining my life.
It could not get into the car with you. There was no space for it in the car.
So without the thought, I'm sitting there. In that moment, it's a beautiful day. There's sunshine. I sit, it's not so busy around me. It's a beautiful spring day. Everything's turning green. I can breathe. I can see. I can walk. So all the things that I was afraid of in that moment are not happening. I'm okay. I'm totally okay in the car there. Yeah, so just peaceful and aware. I'm present. Yeah.
I think this, if you can make that shift Could you feel it now physically also, the difference between the moment beforehand, question number 3, and the moment now, question number 4?
Yes, it's really like, I felt like I was almost like I'm landing in my own body. So it's like a total release of the tension. So I'm just sitting there. I'm with me in that moment. Instead of before, I didn't see anything. The only thing I saw was all these images in my mind. And now, if I just drop the thought in the story for a moment, you know, I'm aware that everything is okay, and I'm with me there. Yeah.
Exactly. So in that moment where the thought was giving you stress, the rest of the world wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
It was just blooming and sun shining and whatever, right? Yeah. So I think this is like, you know, the first glimpse of that. It is the thought and it is not the situation. It doesn't mean that diabetes is gone, but it means that diabetes right now in this moment is not causing stress. And I think this is...
It's definitely not ruining my life in that moment.
It's not ruining your life. Exactly. Exactly. It's not ruining your life.
Yeah.
So let's have a look then. If the belief, now we come to the turnarounds. The turnaround, Marjan is very good at them, so we will let her find the turnarounds. You look at that belief that caused you the stress, and then you find other ways to look at that same belief from different angles, from different sides, and find turnarounds that are at least as true as the first one, or even more true than the first one. And with that variety of options, usually something changes within you. So let's look at the turnarounds, Marjan. The first turnaround that you can find to the first thought, I want my diabetes to stop ruining my life. What would be the first turnaround that comes to mind?
The first turnaround that comes to my mind is, I want me to stop ruining my life. So if I look at an example, so in that moment, that's actually more true. I want me to stop ruining my life. When in that moment, I have all these images that come up and I believe them. You know, all the stress that gives me is ruining my life in that moment, because it made me blind, literally made me blind to the sun shining outside. You know, how comfortable I was sitting in the car, all the green. So that's very true. I want me to stop ruining my life. That's one example.
So you made yourself more blind than hepatitis did it at that time?
Yes, in that moment, completely. I was making by believing these images of the future that are not even the future, that's not even here. I was making myself blind. Also, I want me to stop ruining my life. And that's maybe a little bit outside of the situation, but my body is still, the pancreas is still working a bit, right? So it's not, so one of the images that I see is this diabetes very difficult to manage with insulin and stuff like that. And so that's not the case. In this moment, my pancreas still has these cells to produce insulin. So I'm making it worse than it is. So again, I'm jumping ahead to the future. And another example for me, I want me to stop ruining my life, is by not acknowledging that I have this diabetes. You know, I have a terrible sweet tooth. So if I ignore it, the fact that I have this, and I do keep eating chocolates and biscuits and stuff, then, you know, it's actually me my diabetes is just reacting to what I put into my mouth. So it's not being mindful and not being aware of what's happening. That's me who's ruining my life. Yeah, very much truer than the original statement. Yeah.
Can you find another turnaround? And it's always important to find examples for the turnarounds, not just the statement, but as Marjan just showed so beautifully, to show examples in your real life how this other turnaround is showing up as true or truer as the first one. Another turnaround from I want my diabetes to stop ruining my life.
Another turnaround would be I want me to stop ruining its life. I want me to stop ruining its life of the diabetes. Yes, in that, so that takes me, one example here I can find, I want me to stop ruining its life. When I ignore the fact that I have this, I'm denying its existence. You know, I'm not seeing the reality. So I want me to stop ruining its life, to stop ignoring for myself that it is there, that it is something. So to really face up to the reality, that's where this takes me. Yeah. I want me to stop ruining its life. Another thing that comes to my mind is like, I wanted to stop ruining it. The life that it has now is still okay.
Mm-hmm.
So stop ruining its life is like attacking it with both with my thoughts and with things that I put. So then I'm ruining it to something that might not be manageable in my mind.
So you make it worse. Maybe it doesn't want to get worse. You make it worse.
Yes, yeah. But especially the thing about denying its existence, stop ruining its life, you know, pretending that it's not there.
Yeah.
That really works. Yeah, that's more true also. Yeah.
Is there any other turnaround you can find?
What was the other one? I don't want it to stop ruining my life. I want it to start ruining my life. That sounds a bit strange. I wanted to start ruining my life. Well, I wanted to, yes, in a way, it's like a becoming aware of this and acknowledging it. It's like a warning, you know, it's the big stick, like, okay, are you going to acknowledge me or not? So I don't want it to stop ruining my life. Because this warning now can actually help me to prevent me from ruining my life. So if I don't listen now, so don't ignore the signals. Yeah, be real with it. And so right here, right now, it's like a wake-up call to become more mindful and more aware of what I'm eating and how I am behaving. Yeah.
Because I remember we know each other for quite a long time, and I remember often that you were unhappy with yourself, that you often had these strong desires for the sweet things. So you were eating them, but at the same time, it did not make you happy because you were scolding yourself at the same time in the back of your mind. So,
yeah.
You know, now it maybe gives you more leverage to actually respect that one side of you that wants to eat healthier versus the other side in you that has that sweet tooth.
Yeah. I don't want it to stop ruining my life. Yeah. Another thought that comes to me, I don't want it to stop ruining my current life. I don't want it to start ruining my life. The other turnaround, yeah, I wanted to start ruining my life, you know, ruining my current life, my cravings and my sweet tooth. Yeah. Yeah. Also much truer. Yeah.
Yeah. Plus, it reminded you that you actually do have a really great life. So it should keep reminding you that your life right now is really good, no matter what, right? Even with that little condition, you still have a great life at this moment in time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Wow. Thank you, Desiree.
I think this is what the work does. It brings us into the current moment, and the current moment is the only moment where you can actually do something about it. So it doesn't mean that if there is something that you don't like, that you can change it, that you accept it. It actually means it sheds away all the thoughts that blind you to the reality of this moment and of your choices, offers you options to look at it in different ways. And then from that new place of vision, you can take much better action that is relevant right here, right now, and then can change your future life if you choose to change anything or accept the way it is.
Yeah, what really cleared up for me is, you know, to really face the music, so to speak. So to really make myself be responsible for what I'm doing, and not blame it outwardly. So to become, you know, have an adult approach towards this, like adult onset diabetes, to become an adult in my mind about this as well, and look at the reality of the situation. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's great. Good. Okay. Shall we wrap up? Marjan, when is our next workshop? The next workshop is all about the body. So this could be one situation where your health changes or where your body changes. I go through menopause right now. This might be another work we can do at some point.
Yeah.
So, you know, anything that has to do with the body is in our next online workshop.
Yeah, and the next online workshop is called From Comparing to Caring. So how you can look at your body or body issues in a different way, or become aware of things that you can do about it. And we're going to hold it 3 Wednesdays in June, from the 2nd of June until the 16th of June. And, you know, any kind of topic that you have about your body, or if you want more information about the workshop, just give us a call. We'll have our websites up in a moment after this video. You know, just call us or send us a message, and we really hope that you can join us in this online workshop. We'll see you there.
See you there.
Bye-bye.